Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel.
This is the Didn't Anyone Mention podcast. What do you got for me today?
I guess, yeah.
Well, this is part 2 of MK Ultra. So I'll give you a quick rundown of last week's episode. If you haven't listened to it, please listen to it.
Yeah, pause. Go back. Just to the one before.
It just gets you set up for this.
Yes,
this one.
yes.
So what do we know? It's a CIA confirmed program.
That was testing on unwilling participants.
That was, U.S. citizens for mind control.
U.S. citizens.
Yeah, for mind control. That's what we know, unless you listen to all of part 1.
Yeah.
Frank Olson died
Mm-hmm.
under mysterious circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Sidney Golbiet was the director and almost founder of MK Ultra. So, MK Ultra is really known for this, like, wingspan of mind control, right?
Yeah.
When you think of MK Ultra, it's all mind control, right?
Yeah.
Some lesser known things about it are different things that have happened in history. This is where the conspiracy part comes in.
Oh, okay.
This is not fact by any means.
Okay.
There are some speculations that I'll say. So this first one, if you're thinking about MK Ultra, that whole thing, Jim Jones, hopefully that rings a bell at all. You know anything about that fella? We're going to talk about 2 instances. So at the end of last episode, I brought up Jim Jones and Charles Manson. That was the end of last week's episode. So Jim Jones, you know anything about that fella?
No, I think I'm thinking of a Johnston person. So
Johnston,
no.
Who's that?
I was trying to think of... I just don't know how it would fit. I was thinking about the guy who drugged everyone, because we kind of brought that up at one point on one of these last ones, but he was the one that he pretty much like made a cult and then he drugged everybody.
That is Jim Jones.
It is him?
That's...
Okay. Then I guess I know both.
It's probably not super unique, but that is who I'm going to talk about is Jim Jones.
Okay, cool. Because, he pretty, like, when people say drinking the Kool-Aid, it's because of him.
That is so funny you bring that up. That's where the catchphrase started.
Yeah, no, it's because he had everybody drink it. He, I believe, shot... did he shoot himself?
Did he?
I can't remember.
Ooh, did he? Or is that where the conspiracy starts?
Oh, so, but he didn't die from poison.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
He did not.
His wife didn't. I can't remember if his wife did or didn't, but I know he 100% did not die of the poison. He poisoned everybody else, but not himself.
Mm-hmm.
But he pretty much was like, we have to drink this to ascend to a higher level.
Correct.
And he is... Yeah, literally where drinking the Kool-Aid is from.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charles Manson was a Satanist. Actually, that's wrong, because Satanists have a really bad rep.
They do.
Because it just means you don't believe in God.
Which is, if you say that out loud, it sounds bad, but it's just believing in a different form of a higher power, correct?
Correct. Because if you don't believe in God... But you, because it's like Satanists just have a bad rep.
I mean, if you call yourself a Satanist, what else do you expect, you know?
Yeah, but it's not that, though. Like, as the religion itself, it's not, like, it's not technically anything, like, bad. It just means you don't believe, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know anything about Satanism. But who is it? There's a murder that happens, and I'm trying to think of who it is.
The Zodiac Killer.
No, it's these 3 boys. It's actually what Stranger Things again was based off of, because of Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons got a really bad rep because of these kids. They played it. They were like, oh, like Satanists, whatever. And they blamed this murder of, I want to say it was like a couple like little boys, like 7 or 8 year olds.
That's where Eddie's character comes in, right?
Correct. In Stranger Things. And they just get a bad rep, and there's a lot of things. It's just like the town would rather believe that they did it rather than a town local that is a fucking pedophile and rapes little boys, and he's one of the dads. Like,
well, just think about it.
You'd rather accept strangers that are a little different than somebody who you know so well, and you're like,
it's
how
involved in the community, looking for suspects,
yes,
or victims,
yes.
Yeah.
Literally, it was one of the dads. Like, he just was... Like, he
it literally was?
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Dads or stepdads? I think it was a stepdad.
Dude. Anybody that hurts any
I want to say it was 3 little boys. They were, like, chopped up.
Dude. Anybody that hurts any kind of kid, dude.
They're just innocent. They have so much, like... Especially, yeah, like you said, especially little kids.
Dude.
Like, teenagers are still shitty. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, even, like, a young 20-year-old or 19-year-old, you're like, dang, that sucks, dude. That's so much life ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
But, like,
young
7,
kids.
6.
I think those people that do evil things to kids like that,
they deserve
ethics
a special...
out the window.
They deserve a special extra place.
Yeah. Ethics are out the window. Test them for anything.
This is where they could have tested their psychedelics on.
Yeah, throw some make them think reality is fake.
What I'm saying is...
Fuck with them.
They had
Cut their
no
toes
rules.
off.
They had no rules.
Yeah.
So why did they pick regular Joes off the street when they had prisons full of people? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
So, this knowledge may be wrong, but from what I understand is that child offenders, especially child sex offenders, do not make it very long in prison. They usually...
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, even, like, murderers.
Right.
Like, why did MK Ultra go after people who just wanted to get smashed by straight up consenting adults who just want to get paid for it?
Right.
Why are they drugging these guys compared to maybe guys who raped women, like adult women? Like, I guess that's where I kind of come into the ethics part of it, is like...
Oh, okay, so...
Like, I guess,
let's
pick those people over, like, other shitty people? Or why, like, U.S. citizens? Why not other freaking people? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm not going to act like I know the answer to that. But let's go, for example, your route, saying using prisoners.
I'm just saying.
How do you get cleared? Be like, yeah, I'm gonna give these guys drugs to see if I can take control of their minds. How the fuck do you get cleared for that?
I guess you're not wrong. Yeah, that makes sense. And plus, like, realistically, that's why placebo is a thing. You have to have a control.
Right.
And I get, like, their concept is that they need a control group. Like, that's part of the variables. They can't know that they have mind control.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, just say, like, hey, like, I want to give you an experiment. You need to consent to it. Like, I can't give you much more than that. But you may experience A, B, or C.
Life-altering vision.
You just feel like you may feel a different... Like, they could keep... Like, I mean, I could see how it could be a problem if they're like, you could feel different than what you feel now. You could, keeping it super broad. But at the same time, like, at least get some person's consent to do it. Like, no consent stresses me out.
I think it stresses out our federal government as well. Anyways, let's move on.
Okay, yes.
So, what you're talking about, what you thought was Johnston?
I'm thinking, it was
Jonestown.
Okay, that's what it is. It's Jonestown.
Super close.
Ah, dang it.
Super close.
You were, like, hearing me say it, and you're like...
You were right there.
Jonestown. I want to say it's in Africa.
It is.
Okay, I said that to you one time, and you're like, no way, it's not.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
so
it is.
It was 2 episodes ago we brought it up. I thought it was in the U.S.
I knew it was in Africa.
You are correct. It is in Guyana.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they even flow, like, U.S. military into there, and then people shot at them. Like the towns.
That didn't happen.
No, damn.
That part didn't happen, but they did fly in U.S. somebody.
But didn't somebody die?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Somebody died. Okay,
yeah.
I totally.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through this.
I've seen a couple documentaries.
Yeah, we're gonna go through this.
Miguel can tell it.
So
the second part, I like no parts. Okay.
I know. Yeah, you actually know a lot about this. I expect you to know more about Charles Manson, but we'll touch on that at the end of this episode.
His reggae group of people.
Yeah, his ragtag group of kids. So Jim Jones was an American cult leader. He was the leader of the People's Churches.
Yes, the People Churches.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That started in San Francisco. Everything fucking happens in San Francisco.
I know. I think it's just because I think there's a major port, major airports. It's a lot of new people.
Diversity. I think San Francisco at that time.
Diversity. That's a good
was
way.
Super diverse.
Yeah.
Inclusive.
Now there's just cat-sized rats.
Cat-sized rats. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think anybody could pay me enough to go to San Francisco.
I just don't have. I went.
I went once.
You went once. You were, I think, in high school. It was the year after high school. I don't know. It was like 7 or 8 years ago, I feel like. So, it's been a while. And I saw rats running through the street, and I was like, yeah, I don't feel like coming back here.
So, Jim Jones was the leader of the People's Church. And he led his followers through the jungles of South America, and in which he proclaimed himself as the... You know the answer to this?
The what?
The Messiah. He was...
The Messiah.
What is the Messiah?
The chosen one.
Underneath God?
Yeah, like he's pretty much like...
The speaker of God?
Yeah, pretty much what Lucifer was before. If anybody knows the Bible... Lucifer was technically like God's right-hand man, but then he betrayed him, so then he made him be the devil. He casted him out.
Interesting.
He was an angel.
Lucifer.
Good old Lucy.
We are going to steal the moon.
Okay, keep going.
So, yes, Jim Jones declared himself that he was the Messiah, and he was going to lead people through the jungle of South America and Africa. And that's where he started Jonestown in Guyana.
That's what
I thought it was in the U.S. That is my bad. I really did. I thought it was like in fucking Arizona or something.
There is, okay, maybe I'll find this one. There is one, I want to say located in Washington, and it was a meteor went over at a certain point, and they believed they could catch a ride on this meteor, so they killed themselves.
I've never.
I'll have to find it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later, I guess.
If anybody knows, please confirm.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
But Jonestown is known for the Jonestown massacre, which is where where Drink the Kool-Aid comes from, where Jim Jones, at the end of whatever he thought was going to be his life, he proclaimed, okay, everybody, we got to drink this juice. It's going to take you, you're going to ascend, whatever it was.
Ascending. Ooh, that word cringes me out.
And it actually just was cyanide.
Yes.
And
also, how do you get that much cyanide?
That is a very good question. Very good question. Fun fact, apple seeds have cyanide in them?
I knew that. I knew a fruit had it. I guess I half knew that. I didn't know which fruit had cyanide in it. You're telling me homeboy just picked like 1 million apples and took it out?
He started this town. He's like, all right, guys, we're actually apple farmers, but don't you dare fucking throw away the seeds. We're going to press them. We're going to make juice.
Yeah. Just saying. I think he,
Okay.
That's interesting.
So we're gonna keep moving on. So, after gaining respect and notoriety from labeling himself as a messiah, he became addicted to the power. Right?
How could you not?
As everybody does, right?
If you're praised, people are like...
And using that power, he became addicted to it. And most notably is that his church, quote unquote, got so much money, millions even, that he diverted funds, I know, so unique, for himself.
I remember so many people lost so much money because then he had like people send money to like their family members, but then their family members wouldn't even get it.
Correct. It was so when
have I seen this?
He was the.
I'm like, how do I know this? I'm trying to think of how I know this.
I watch a lot of documentaries. But he was he wanted to form an egalitarian society.
Yes. I'm serious. Now I'm trying to think of how do I know all this?
I don't know, but it's gonna come. Crazy. It's gonna come jogging back to you
as soon as you say it. Like, oh man, it just keeps on like flashing in. I'm like, bro, I know this.
I know, right? And even among all the accusations that he had, like diverting funds, whatever it was, he had all of his followers immigrate from San Francisco, surrounding areas, to Guyana.
That is some faith.
It wasn't faith.
Mind control.
No, that's a good guess though. It was he used like everybody, they were donating to the church or whatever.
Yeah.
He used his money to blackmail, beat.
Oh.
And like tell people they were gonna die if they didn't go, and
fear tactics. Yeah.
Forced his followers to go to Guyana. A lot of them leaving family members. This comes into play later. Remember that part.
I'm trying to think of... I know that family members play a part in it.
Yes.
But I'm trying to think of why. I want to say
they
reach out to the government saying like, dude, something is going on. You need to check it out.
Yeah. You're pretty spot on.
Because they like all teamed up and were like, yo, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Like it was just like...
Yep.
Because what year was this again?
1977.
Yeah, so it wasn't like internet was around, so it's not like you can like post on the internet like, hey, have you guys had this encounter? This takes longer.
Right.
It takes longer to like communicate. It takes all this, so...
Well, think about this. In their people's church, they had practiced rehearsals, or I guess they would just call them rehearsals, of mass suicide.
Okay, I knew that, because he would be like, this is it. This is it. Drink it. And they'd be like, oh, it's not it. Like, he literally would, like, filter out who was, like, worthy, quote-unquote, or, like, a devoted follower or not.
How nuts.
Bro, talk about narcissism.
Bro, just imagine, like...
You're just, like...
flexing your power like that.
That is straight up holding a gun to somebody's head, practically. And saying, like...
Pull the trigger.
Just believe that there's nothing in here. Or, like, just believe that there's a bullet. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Doesn't go off. Like, oh my gosh. What a messed up person. Horrible. Sometimes I'm like, how do these people exist?
Yeah. Practiced mass suicide.
Hitler? This guy?
Bro.
Like, how, like...
We're actually going to talk about Hitler here in a little bit.
Oh my god. But you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes... I am so confused on how this... I mean, don't get me wrong. They have all sorts of other stuff.
Right on.
Other people that build them up,
Uh-huh.
But how does this person fuck it up so bad? Like, I don't understand. We have so many good people, too. Like, I've met so many great people. How do they not take over the world? Like, why can't they take over the world compared to this piece of shit? Like...
It's a good question. I've never thought about it that way.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're a good person, take over the world.
Please.
Simple.
Make the place a good place.
I will drink the Kool-Aid.
Peace on earth.
Anyways, but yeah, so you're right. You touched on it a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. They did reach out to their government. The family members did, and they're like, hey, something's like not adding up here.
Yeah.
And so November 2nd of 1978, a U.S. representative of California, because that's where they're all from, a representative, Lee Ryan, traveled to Guyana to with some relatives and some reporters. Was
he shot but then got on the plane?
Yes. Man, you know a lot about this already.
Okay.
So
I'm like picturing this documentary.
Yeah, he brought some of their relatives and some reporters to investigate alleged abuse, right?
Well, yeah, that is abuse.
Yeah. And so when he arrived, everybody was just playing a role. Like they were saying like, oh yeah, we all farm for each other or whatever for each other. Like this.
Well, yeah, if you get caught, you're going to get freaking beat.
Right. Beautiful egalitarian society. Everybody is happy. It's a beautiful, thriving community.
Everybody supports each other.
Yeah. A thriving community. Mm-hmm. And so Lee Ryan is like, there's nothing fucking wrong here. Like everything's good. You know what I mean?
Bro, when things are too good.
I know. There's got to be a little shit, you know? Yeah. In white underwear, there's always got to be a fucking little brown streak. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, there's no bright, clean, white undies.
There's none.
Unless they're brand new.
Unworn. Anyways. And then 4 days later, Lee Ryan was like, all right, well, we'll get out of here. And as they were leaving, as they were going to the airstrip of Jonestown, Jim Jones was like, kill everybody. Kill those 4 people. Or kill whoever's there. Kill everybody.
Like who's leaving?
Yeah, kill everybody who's leaving. Fearing that they might bring in authorities or whatever, which is like the dumbest fucking move ever.
I remember that. I was like, bro, you're clear. You're a dumbass.
You made it through.
You literally convinced this guy. Yeah. And he was leaving and you fucked it up.
Yeah.
That was your own freaking mistake.
100%. Yeah.
God.
You got a little angsty.
I mean, not mistake, but what's sad is these people could, I don't know. It's like, if this didn't happen, if he was like, oh yeah, they're good. Would people just keep on pushing or would they accept it? Would those people have been able to live longer? You just have so many what ifs.
Too many. Right. And so, yeah, Jim Jones ordered the U.S. U.S. Senator to be assassinated and everybody that came with him to be assassinated. And that's where Drink the Kool-Aid came from. Because that same day, he did the same thing, a rehearsal of the being ascended. But this time it was actually laced with cyanide. And so what they did, he got them all in the church, had them all drink a Kool-Aid, and he knew they would be loyal because these are the filtered out people. And they all thought it was probably rehearsal. And they all drank the Kool-Aid. And they all died. All of them. However, he himself, you are right, he did not drink the Kool-Aid.
He shot himself. Or, quote unquote, shot himself.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to imagine. So the document reports that he shot himself, right? The pistol, however, was found quite a ways away from him, which makes it hard to kill yourself and then throw the gun away. You know what I'm saying? Makes it pretty difficult. So, backtracking a little bit, there's a conspiracy that the CIA was involved, that this whole thing was MKUltra.
To see how far it can go.
To see how far it can go.
That makes sense.
And so moments before...
It is around the same timeline. It is in the same area. I could see where the conspiracy could come from.
Right. So the conspiracy is that before the landing strip assassination, a CIA agent actually came and met with Jim Jones, brought him onto the plane, and gave him whatever words, right? So there's... If you've ever seen... Who is...
My homeboy Bucky?
Bucky, yeah, from the Avengers.
As soon as you tapped your arm, I was like, oh, he is talking about Bucky.
Bucky, yeah. When they tell him 4 words, what is it? Paperclip?
No, it's multiple words, but it's the Winter Soldier. So
the Winter Soldier.
He has to... it's the book, the red book. They have to say a certain amount of words, yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes into...
they will do anything he says.
Yes. So that's what it is. That's what the CIA guy came, told Jim Jones these words, and pretty much was like, Jim Jones knew he had to execute this. So that's why, on a whim, he assassinated a U.S. senator and everybody, all the reporters and their family.
Well, especially
everybody in the
town. Senator reported back to the CIA.
Right. And then the CIA came back and shot Jim Jones
Dang.
and killed him.
Dang, dude.
Now, do you think this is outside of wheelhouse? Like, do you think
the timelines match everything? It's a little extreme. Because if anything, you would think like maybe some other like examples would have occurred. Because like if they tested at least 150, right? Like is what was saved in their documentation. Remember, maybe there was maybe some other little ones that appeared around the same time. Because if they were like, oh, let's see how many of these guys will like use this, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing, but
it is like
it also religion and cult can mess with your brain quite a bit.
Yes, but so I agree with you. Everything you've said so far, I agree with you. But how convenient is it that this all takes place outside of U.S. territory?
I know.
Right?
I know. How can, like...
That's where I get...
realistically, how much space between, like, even California and Texas, like, if you went straight up, there's so much empty space there.
Right.
You're telling me he couldn't have done that there?
But like, he decided to go outside of U.S.
Exactly.
He believed he could lead these people through South America. I don't even know where Guyana is. Is that in Africa? Have I been lying to you this whole time?
No, it isn't. It's in Africa.
Are you sure?
It is.
We're going to look it up right now.
It is in Africa. I know it is.
It's in South America.
I hate myself.
My guys, I'm sorry.
It's South America.
So
either way, it's not in the U.S.
It's not in the U.S. So
South America.
If you've been listening, saying these guys are freaking dumbasses,
say you're right because
you were correct. It is in South America.
We know the difference between South America and Africa. I promise.
It just sounds like very African name.
I'm just trying to think of. More likely because so many missions I've heard of is in Africa or something like that. I bet that's like what my correlation is. But
probably.
Where is it in South Africa? Is it like
is it or South America?
Or that's what I meant to say.
The
South
northeastern corner of South America.
Oh, okay. Is it next to like Brazil, Chile stuff? Or no, Chile's on the other side.
So it is next to Venezuela. Yeah, Brazil.
Oh, okay.
North of Brazil. East of Venezuela.
Cool.
I guess west of Suriname.
No.
I don't know this place. Anyways. So that's Jonestown in a nutshell.
That's cool. I mean, not cool, but like, I can't believe I knew so much of it.
You pretty much knew the whole thing.
I know, that was cool.
And so that's kind of where the CIA comes in, or MK Ultra's. The reason he killed everybody is because somebody came the night before
and told him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, green, yellow, purple.
Yeah, told him wheelbarrow 6, 7, up, down, left.
Yeah.
Wheelbarrow 6, 7, up, down, left, and then he's like, kill everybody.
Okay, well, what do you got about, what's next?
What's next is Charles Manson.
I'm not saying that I like any serial killers, but Charles Manson, I think, is one of the ones I may know the least about.
Really?
Just because, like, I mean, I know the gist of him. Like, he had everybody else. Like, it's hard for me to consider him a... I'm not saying it's hard for me to consider him a serial killer, but he made everybody else do his dirty work.
Yes.
So that's a little crazy, which makes it also a little bit harder for me to follow. So I just don't follow it as much.
So it's not okay. That makes sense. So
because he had I want to say 5 or 6 people or something.
Yeah. Like
he had a good amount of people that
he was crew.
He was like, go into this house and kill this person, and they did it, and I was like, how? Which then, like I said, why wasn't more of this happening? I mean, the 70s was a ton of serial killers. I don't know, maybe they were.
Dude, there has to be serial killers out now that we just don't know about.
There could be.
Do you really think they're just gone? I mean, I hate to think about it.
No, I know. But at the same time, the 70s was an interesting time. I think there was a lot of like, not like, I guess like, it was a Wild West out here, kind of. Like,
Yeah,
it was
true.
just like maybe politically and stuff like that. Maybe there was some stuff going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, everything's on camera now.
It's very true. Everything's on camera. Whatever we're recording on is not just recording for us.
Yeah, I was recording for whoever else wants it.
Right. So Charles Manson. There's a book called Chaos by Tom O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read it?
No, I've heard of it though.
It is literally, anytime you look at Charles Manson, that's what comes up.
Mm-hmm. It's like his the number one thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost overwhelming. In my opinion, it almost seems like it's trying to bury everything else.
Interesting.
And that's kind of what I get from it, because it was hard to find any other sources. So if you didn't know this, like if you wanted a specific Google search, you look up, like, for example, Charles Manson and MK Ultra, and you put it in parentheses, or not parentheses, quotations, and it'll only look up that phrase directly. It won't give you relative subjects. So if you look that up, then it gives me other things. But everything else, like, it was pages and pages of the Chaos book.
Interesting.
It is interesting, right? So Manson, we talked about him a little bit already.
Mm-hmm.
He had a ragtag group of people that were constantly on drugs. Mm-hmm. He was a notorious serial killer. I don't know if you could call him a serial killer. I think a serial planner. I think
he's still considered one, but he technically didn't do anything with his own physical hands.
Right. But it was all premeditated still.
Yeah, it was premeditated, and he was, I want to say he was like a comp. I don't know. I can't remember what he got tried for. But I'm pretty sure he was in jail for the rest of his life.
Right. So Manson actually considered himself a spawn of Christ and Satan and Hitler combined.
I remember that, yes.
Which, Hitler's a weird one.
I think a lot of people thought that Hitler was the Antichrist, so that would make sense.
I guess, in my mind, why does it go back to religion?
Christianity, like, freaking rules everything, dude. Have you not learned that from all the stuff we look up? Christianity, like, has uprooted a ton of stuff.
I know, but it's just like, I don't know, like, labeling Hitler as the Antichrist is like, okay, that makes sense if you're Christian, right?
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of different religions have like an opposite. I guess it's also like yin and yang, right? Like you have that like opposing force.
Yeah, but why?
Balancing out.
But I guess instead of just labeling him as like a really bad guy, does that carry less weight than the Antichrist?
I think so, yeah. For what religion and Christianity is like brought in. Antichrist, if you say like, dude, this guy's Antichrist, I'm going to think you are talking like, this guy is the worst kind of human possible. If you were just like, oh, this guy's the worst, I'm not going to think that hard about that.
Interesting. Anyways. So what's lesser known about Charles Manson? So we know his history a little bit. He had a little group of people, and they would go around. They caused havoc all around.
They were literally freaking high 24/7.
Right. So supposedly, Charles Manson had meetups with the CIA that gave him LSD to control his subjects.
Interesting.
And that's where MK Ultra comes through, is where Charles Manson was actually part of MK Ultra and the CIA agents to see how far they could push a group of people, or insurgents, you would say, and control them to do things, but not actually, like, you yourself wouldn't do anything, but you would have total mind and body control of these people to commit murders, heinous acts, you name it.
That is interesting, because what is his timeline? I can't remember what Charles...
70s. Late 60s, early 70s. Which, if MK Ultra was exposed in 1975
Yeah.
by congressional hearings. Like the timeline fits I think is why. And
because it's based. He was in California, wasn't he?
yes, California.
Interesting.
In my mind, the timeline fits. And Charles Manson was not a dumb dude.
No, he was really smart.
He was a smart guy.
He was really, actually really smart from what I remember.
A smart guy, a little crazy.
Yeah, he was a little extremist.
But what better insurance to have? Like, if something goes wrong, you can just label him as a crazy guy.
Yeah. I want to say he, like, had a degree in something crazy or something like that, too.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I could be thinking of somebody else.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Also, I just learned a fun fact about Charles Manson that I had no idea. Fuck, I already forgot it.
You said he studied music in Scientology.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't get any crazy degree. He didn't finish, it sounded like, though, you said.
No. Oh, he was labeled as aggressively antisocial. That's what he was diagnosed with.
Yeah. Huh, crazy.
Yeah, and his IQ was 109.
I don't even know what IQ
It's above average.
Is it? What's like average? 180?
I have no idea.
Oh my God.
My IQ is 180.
I was going to say mine's like 80 something.
I don't know actually what an average IQ is.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure take average and drop 10%. I think that's where I'm at. Like, I'm good enough to get by.
Yeah.
That's why I'm happy all the time. Anyways, that's what I got for you on this.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I like it. I am very surprised that I knew more about your first topic than the second one.
Yeah, me too. I expected you to know pretty much a lot more about...
What do you mean? I know about my fellow cults.
Yeah, Charles Manson. Yes, you do. Crazy dude. Got these people to perform these horrible acts.
I want to say, like, people, like, one time even, like, broke into a house and, like, killed a lady or something.
That is the most infamous one.
That is the, yeah, I was going to say that was, like, the biggest one.
Yeah, that was
did.
Man, I wish I had her name.
I know. It was an older lady, I want to say. Or maybe...
I
want to say it was
remember.
an older lady. But, yeah, he was like, you need to go into their house and kill her. And they just kind of, like, went crazy. Like, it was... And they did a lot of, like, symbolism and all that kind of stuff in there. So, I feel like Charles Manson... I'm not saying, like, the other people should get credit. But, man, this guy didn't even do anything. And he is, like, one of the most well-known people.
Yeah. He's a crazy motherfucker.
It sucks how, like... Charles Manson, I know exactly who you're talking about. If you told me any of his victims' names, I wouldn't know. I think that's what sucks.
Yes.
Oh, what's her name?
Oh. I was going to look
I thought you had it. Oh. You paused, so I was like, oh, did you have it?
Give me 5 seconds here.
Okay. 1, 2. Just kidding.
So he was... part of 9 murders, whether it was true or false.
Whether it was true or false. He was, I promise. Because it started in San Francisco, yeah. San Francisco. And then, yeah, he was only in California. But let's see here.
La Bianca.
That sounds right. That's an area, though, right?
I don't know.
Well, I guess maybe we'll just have to look it up and do one.
Yeah, we will.
But
maybe just one Charles Manson. I didn't dig too deep on it.
That's okay. Charles Manson. Also, serial killers have too much spotlight sometimes.
You're right. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do a story on whoever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone better than these freaking serial killers.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.